Hello class, this is a video that I'm posting to go through the syllabus a little bit more in detail than what you might get just by reading through it on your own. I'm not going to read every word to you, of course, but I just wanted to highlight a few things. At the top of the syllabus, page 1, you'll see my contact information. Email is probably the best option, but if you do need me, you can call by phone. I can get back to you if I don't answer. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Of course, Blackboard is a good means of communication. Specifically, there's an FAQ discussion board that I've set up. You may have had those in other classes, and that's an area where you can ask, you can post questions, mostly about kind of the nuts and bolts of the course. You know, I'm confused if this is really due on Wednesday or whatever. In this course, most things are due on Fridays, but you can ask questions like that. You can ask content questions, and I want you to know that you are free to chime in as a student, as a peer, to answer other people's questions. If you think you know the answer, go ahead and post it. Oh yeah, my understanding was it was due on Friday, or there's a quiz Friday, or whatever. And then I will be monitoring that discussion board, so if you are incorrect in your response to another student, I'll be there to kind of clarify things. Office hours, since this is an online course, I will be online on Google Hangouts from 9 a.m. to noon on Fridays, unless I let you know for some reason a certain week that those hours will be modified. I will also be on my email, so if you email during that time, you should get a quick response. If you have questions about, really all you need to do a Google Hangout, which is just a messenger service, is to have a Gmail account, which is quite easy to set up. I found that this works well, and then you'll just add my email address listed here, the Gmail address listed here. If you have questions about that, you can post a question in the FAQ, or you can email me. The prerequisite for this course is PHHE 295. I will let you read through the course description and the course objectives. I don't want to bore you by reading those word for word. I have the citation for the textbook listed. If there are other readings, they are listed in the syllabus, but if I come up with another reading, like if there's something really timely that happened the week before, I might add a reading about it. I will always post an announcement so that you'll know there's an additional reading, and then I'll go ahead, of course, and put it on Blackboard. So just to let you know, I want to kind of reserve the right to add readings, but I don't expect it to be a large amount of additional readings or anything like that. All right, class policies are pretty straightforward. There are discussion board prompts some of the weeks, but not all, and those are listed in the schedule as well. For the discussion boards, you will have 2 posts, an original post and a response post. For those of you who have taken online courses, this is not an unusual format. One post is due by Wednesday at 11 p.m., and the second one is due by Friday at 11 p.m. That's sort of so that otherwise a lot of times students will tend to kind of wait to the last minute for the most part, and so then those who are trying to comment on the post earlier in the week, there's really not much to comment on because they may be the only one posting, or maybe 1 or 2 other people. So this works out really well because then you have at least 1 post from everyone in the class by Wednesday, and then it just really gets the discussion going. Okay, so there are 2 exams in this course, a midterm and a final. I have a little bit more detail that you can read through here. Just go ahead and put on your calendar now the weeks that the midterm and the final are. And those will each be on Friday of that week, and they'll be open from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. on that Friday. We've talked a little bit about communication. Please do use your NIU email account. If you're using, you can email me from a Gmail account or something, and of course, like I mentioned, I'll be using Gmail for office hours, but the thing is, I just can't answer questions about your grade or specific, like any protected information on a Gmail account. I need to use, or any other kind of an email account aside from your designated NIU account. So try to use that one if you're asking me any like grade sensitive information or anything about personal information. It would be best to use your NIU account. I typically respond within 24 hours. I don't guarantee that, but I do my best, and students typically give me feedback on evaluations and things that I'm very responsive. So I will try to maintain that. Please maintain professional communication. I don't want to have to remind you. It gets kind of awkward if I have to say, please call me Dr. Geiger, or please don't say, hey, what's up, in an email. Please try to use proper grammar. It doesn't have to be super stringent, but I'm trying to maintain what would be a workplace standard. So just practicing communicating the way that you would in a job, so that you're practicing doing that and you're prepared when you get done with your degree program. We have a little bit more detail on plagiarism in an assignment later in the course, but I do have NIU's plagiarism policy listed for you here in the syllabus, as well as accommodations for disability and disability resources. If you do need to seek resources for any sort of disability, please do that early. Do it as soon as possible, because I don't want to have to retroactively apply any sort of special accommodation. So get on that if you haven't done it already. And of course, I'll be more than happy to make any sort of accommodations that you need. I have the Writing Center information here, and I do have a little bit more information I just received from the Writing Center that I will post in the information tab. But I highly recommend the Writing Center, especially since you do have a pretty intensive writing assignment in this course. So you may want to seek out those services. Even if you feel like you're a good writer, even if you tend to do well on writing assignments, most of the time I recommend it. When I was a student here at NIU for my undergrad, I used the Writing Center for almost every paper, every written assignment. Maybe not if it was like a one-page thing or something, but I use them all the time, and I feel like I learned so much just from going to the Writing Center. Next page, the grading breakdown. So this course uses, and I use this in most of the courses that I teach, it uses a weighted grading scale, so that you will not have a certain number of points in each category. You will have a percentage of the total course grade for these categories listed in the syllabus. So pop quizzes, assignments, or assessments. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Assignments, because assessments are any kind of, that could be an exam or an assignment or a pop quiz or anything. Paper, the midterm and final exam, and then discussion board posts. Now, within the assignments category, that's going to be mostly comprised of your journal entries, and we'll get more in detail about that. Then you see the grading scale to the right of the point breakdown. It's a typical plus-minus grading scale adopted by the university. All right, next getting into the schedule. So I'm not going to go through the entire schedule, just kind of, orient you to how it's set up. So you have the week in the first column, kind of the general subject of what we'll be studying that week. The third column is the readings. Most of the time it's one textbook chapter per week, and then maybe an additional reading depending on the week. And then in the final column, if there's anything due that week, which there is, I think, pretty much every week. So, example, week 1, which is this week, you have a discussion board due, which in this case is really easy. It's just a bio of yourself, telling the class a little bit about yourself. However, I do want you, mostly for practice, to do an original post and a response post. This week I'm allowing you to do the original post via video if you would like to. You don't have to. And then the response post should be a paragraph written out. If you choose to do the original post not by video, just by text, then that should be at least a paragraph as well. Proper grammar, syntax, spelling, all that stuff. So yeah, just look through this. There are a couple of weeks where there is nothing, no class basically, which is kind of a weird concept online, but really nothing to do. One of those weeks I am gone presenting at a conference, and I'm just not confident that I will even be available enough to answer questions and keep the course on track for that week. So I'm just not, I mean, certainly you can still email me that week if you have questions about, your topic for your project or whatever, and I probably will be able to get back to you that week, but I just don't want to leave anybody hanging. So I'm going on the conservative side. The other week that there is no class is Thanksgiving break week. So get those things on your calendar, get the midterm on your calendar, the final exam, which is December 9th this semester, the due date for your paper. Get those things on your calendar so that there are no snafus. If you have any questions at all, contact me or post in that FAQ discussion board. And if there's anything that's unclear about the syllabus, or if you happen to find, not perfect, pretty close, I try to be, but if you find any sort of error in the syllabus, please do let me know. I'd like to get it corrected so that nobody's confused. Thank you so much.